A judge today ruled that the prosecution cannot retry the suspect in Samantha Woll's murder.
Yeah, he determined a second felony murder trial against the suspect, Michael Jackson-Bolanos, would constitute double jeopardy.
Joining us once again to break all this down break down this legal ruling is former federal prosecutor and defense attorney Rick Convertino. Thank you so much, as always, for being with us.
My pleasure.
All right, Rick, so let's just overall start with your biggest takeaway from this ruling. Are you shocked in any way, shape, or form?
No, not at all. Last time I was here, I actually mentioned that I didn't believe that the judge would actually allow this case to go forward. There's a U.S. Supreme Court case in 2009 called U.S. v. Yeager. It had to do with insider trading and had a similar set of circumstances that applied. The government wanted to retry that case after the jury had inconsistent deliberations and couldn't come to a verdict. And the Supreme Court ruled that that was a double jeopardy and that couldn't be retried. And they entered an order dismissing that case against Yeager. And this is a similar set of the nucleus of operative facts here. As they occurred, the jury acquitted the defendant and therefore retrying it on the same set of facts with overlying elements of both crimes would constitute double jeopardy under the U.S. Supreme Court ruling. It was pretty clear, cut and dry. I think that even the judge said that she was kind of shackled and didn't have an opportunity to do anything other than dismiss the case.
Now, the defendant was found guilty of lying to police and sentenced from 18 months to 15 years in prison. At one point, the judge told him that if lying was an Olympic sport, he'd have a gold medal.
I heard that, yeah. Quite an achievement.
Yeah, of that, what kind of sentence do you think he'll get? That's a pretty big range.
Yeah.
Oh, he got a sentence of 18 months. He's going to do 18 months in the state penitentiary. He has 243 days of time allotted that he's already served, which is a little over 8 months. So he'll do, about 10 months on his sentence. And it's interesting in this case, that's an excessive sentence. Taken in a sterile environment, lying to a police officer, it would be unheard of that somebody be incarcerated for 18 months. And in fact, the Michigan Department of Corrections in their recommendation to the judge recommended that he be sentenced to 18 months probation on a non-tethered basis. So that's what they recommended. They're the experts in the sentencing guidelines. They make the recommendations to the judge, and almost always the judge follows those recommendations, except here.
Rick, could we overall see an appeal in this decision?
I think most assuredly there'll be an appeal today. The prosecutor sent out a press release saying that they're going to ask for leave to appeal. In this case, there's not an appeal by right, it's an appeal by leave, so the prosecution will have to file a motion trying to convince the appellate court to take this case. There's no right of appeal, so the appellate court can deny leave, which would mean they don't even have to consider this case.
What would you think the timeline would be on that?
It's going to be immediate. They're going to file that motion for leave to appeal immediately.
All right.
Now, if the prosecution pursues other suspects, what additional challenges are they going to have now?
Enormous challenges. Now they have probably the prime suspect, I thought, was the ex-boyfriend of Ms. Woll, who had all sorts of motives and reasons and opportunity. But he was given immunity during his trial testimony, and there was a seriatim of events that they precluded by investigation. They had the FBI in this case, which is also unusual, and so there was bumbling. They ignored evidence. They didn't follow up on evidence in this case. So now to come back and find a new putative defendant that they're going to indict and charge, I think would be very difficult to do at best.
An overall just very developing and evolving situation. Defense attorney and former federal prosecutor Rick Convertino, as always, we appreciate your insight.
Thanks to both of you.